All right, folks, let's go ahead and get started. I'm Bjorn Valley, and welcome to another episode of Star Technology, where, I was thinking about it, and one of the things that I really appreciate is people who post comments and help me out. Telling me I'm doing a good job is fine and all, but, let's just well, tell me I'm great. That's fine. Do that. That's lovely. But I also appreciate the people that have been commenting and telling me, suggestions on what I could do. So I pulled up a list here. We've got Hypercrafting and Nicholas Rucker and Dexu. It looks like Exodus. So I appreciate you guys for commenting and just leaving me suggestions, because I have so many things on my mind. And I'm sounding like world's smallest violin, but it really helps focus what's going on. So Hyper posted earlier that I've been saying these guys are exactly the same as everything. So if I come in here, grab this and look at the ore processing diagram, that everything in here is what pops up on the ore processing list here. And that's true, but they brought up a very good point of in this one, for example, I only get 50% sulfur. Okay. What would this be? This would be EV, so yeah, 50%. 52.5. But if I come in here, I could run everything through, and now obviously I don't want sulfur out of this, but probably down here somewhere, I don't know. And I could just do that one, and I would maybe get more of just that one material. And like, for example, in here, this one's got cinnabar, but this one doesn't have cinnabar. So it makes me wonder if maybe it's not like a curated list of what they think is going to be most useful for you. And as a side, I mentioned this a few episodes ago, but I've got this also somewhere along the line. They didn't, these guys don't disappear when you get close. That was the original setting. So I don't know, it was a couple days ago now, I guess. I was just standing someplace, and it happened to have one of these beams, and I was like, what effect is this? Is somebody lasering me? I think somebody's lasering me. Who's lasering me? I thought it was like a llama, like there's a llama with lasers mod or something. Which, when I say that out loud, would be a cool mod. Anyhow, I have cool news. So first off, we have IV machine holes automated. That alone, just automating these, and you don't need a lot, but I like to have a lot, so I have a lot. I could have more, but it is what it is. I'm thinking I might go down here and like all the way down here, the ULV ones, I might set those. In fact, I might even set a second one, because every once in a while we need these ULV machine casings, but I might set this to be like 1024, and we'll see. So that's cool. And we've got max on, where is it? Oh, it's back here. Got max on the IV electric motors. And do we have, yeah, I never set this up because of the tungsten wire issue. So I've been playing with things. Well, here's the issue. I can't continue. Did I get pistons? I don't think I got pistons set up. Those are EV pistons, and those are good. We actually have a max rate of EV of titanium now. Actually, no, I ate it all. And I'll show you that too, because that's fun. So the IV motors, they can come in, but what we're missing in here is the tungsten wire, and that's because we don't have any tungsten. Why don't we have any tungsten? Because I realized that I set up the distribution of tungsten wrong, and we'll go take a look at that here in a minute. But what I actually kind of like is, obviously I didn't do tungsten steel. This is all set up, and it's just waiting for me to put tungsten steel into this ender drawer. but that eats up a lot. Each one of these costs, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 tungsten steel. So that's 8 stacks, and then another 8 stacks for the backup, and then another 8 stacks in here. So that's 24 stacks. That's a lot. But I did do titanium. And in fact, we've got 2 stacks. So that's, 5 stacks of these crates. So that's 40 stacks of titanium got eaten there. The drums are 3 stacks of drums. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 18 stacks of titanium there, and it just tore through the titanium supply. And so we were down to like 60 titanium. Not cool, but the fact that I'm using it, and that's kind of the thing, is that it's a balancing act, right? When you're doing supply chain stuff, between having enough of the precursor on hand that you can go in a different direction, right? Like if you're a snack producer, right? Like you make cookies, you always want to have a few extra cookies, ingredients, so that you can experiment. But at the same token, you're not making money off of the flour, you're making money off of the cookie. So you want to have all of that precursor turned into final product as fast as possible. And I keep saying precursor, and it's because I'm a bad person, but I've been watching Breaking Bad. I finished it and went, that ended totally different than it started. It's a horror movie at the last couple of seasons. I don't want to spoil it, but somebody is not actually the redemption arc you expected. It's they're the final girl from a horror movie. Anyhow, I've got this here. This is running pitch blend. I don't need pitch blend, but it's also running bastosite because we're going to need bastosite here in a few minutes, I think. I'm running some blue steel to finish these macerators up. But pitch blend, the only reason I'm doing pitch blend is because that was clogging the distillation tower. So if we run up here, and so much of the game, and I try not to include the maintenance stuff unless it's actually what I'm working on. But the pitch blend was full, so I used this little gimmick here, and I'm not replacing these until I need to. They're working, so I'll replace them the first moment that one of these clogs up. So like if I come over here and this one's got 0 in it, but this one's like half full, that'll tell me that I've got that. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And the reason we need... Okay, so if you recall, we're trying to get the IV energy hatch because... No, we're trying to get the elite circuit assembler, but it's this kind of on par with the energy hatch. And we have to get this quantum star. And I go back and forth when I'm planning the episode. I can't always remember whether... Because these are both about the same priority in my mind. Probably the circuit assembler is a little higher priority. So we'll work on that today. But I need to get the bastosite sorted because this insane voltage coil required... No, it's... the HPIC chips. So high performance integrated circuit, high power integrated circuit, is just the MPIC, the medium power integrated circuit, with indium gallium phosphide and liquid vanadium gallium. We can do liquid vanadium gallium, that's no big deal. And the indium gallium phosphide, we've got gallium, we've got phosphide, those are coming in buckets, no big deal. And the only problem is the indium, and it took me a second to figure it out. You have to get this precursor. No, not that one. This one. No, not that one. This one. So, I'll show you that here in a second, too. I'm very excited about that. I don't know if it's going to happen today, but soon. You need to take purified sphalerite, purified galena, which, since we're not using sphalerite for anything else, that's cool. I can live with that. And purified galena, we're not using that for anything else. That just gives us lead, and this gives us zinc, and those are kind of out. Mix them with sulfuric acid, and we get indium concentrate. And I guess the idea is supposed to be that there's trace elements in both of these ores, and then when we run the sulfuric acid, it burns out. I mean, it shouldn't really burn out the sulfur, should it? I'm trying to think of the actual chemistry. But we get the diluted sulfuric acid, we get the lead zinc, right, from the, what's it, and honestly, we could probably just toss that, because that's lead, gold, zinc, sulfur, and water. Yeah, and that's all we get. If you weren't aware, and obviously by this point you are, so it says lead zinc solution, 1,000 millibuckets, and then the next line is a bunch of random letters. Those are the chemical symbols. I don't know if you guys do chemistry for funsies, and I'm not trying to talk down to you guys. This is literally just, if you don't happen to know, you don't know until somebody explains it. Those are from the periodic table, mostly. There's some, like Nether Star actually has a Nether Star symbol as its chemical symbol, and like Naquita is like an N, NQ. and that's not a real element. It's from Stargate HD1. Yeah, anyways, so we get the indium gallium oxide dust, and I don't need the aluminum sulfide, so all of this stuff is just going to get tossed. I really don't. I've got no reason to process those. And then oxygen, indium concentrate, aluminum. Yeah, so all this is easy. Basically, the aluminum pulls out some of the sulfide from the indium gallium, or indium concentrate. And then I'm assuming the oxygen frees up the sulfuric acid, and then the sulfuric, it would be sulfate acid? Sulfurate acid? I don't remember. Chemistry is not really my thing. Anyways, but that is what then bonds with the lead zinc solution and turns it into this, which is in most interesting, at least in my opinion, interesting metallurgical processes. This is the dross. This is the waste. You might pass it on to somebody in a lower tier country, like rare earth metals. Nobody processes rare earth metals in the U.S. It is a dirty, time-consuming, smelly process, and that's the reason why, for example, right now China is the leading producer of it, because they're willing to do that. And we actually ship all of our waste over to China, and then they process it and ship us back the rare earth metals. That'll change in the near future, but that's what that is. And then you get the indium oxide dust, and oxides are always easy to pull out. You just, well, in this case, we just electrolyze it. I think you could generally do that, but it's going to change based on the particular varieties. I am, again, not a chemist, so I don't know enough specifics. I just know that generally oxidizing can be reversed with electricity because it wants to pull the, when you run the electricity through, say, a water, and then it's separating the hydrogen and the oxygen, then the hydrogen doesn't bubble to the surface. It actually bonds with, say, the oxygen in rust and makes more water, which then, anyways. So that was today's fun chemistry lesson. Sorry, that's not it. I was going to go show the fun thing that I'm super excited about. I made too many field generators. Yeah. So I did set up a manganese. I had to do it over here. I did set up a manganese phosphide. I only had enough room to do this if they were 4 wide with the bricks. So the machine itself is, I guess, 3 wide because it partially goes to the wall. But I've got enough to go up through LV, MV, HV, EV, IV, and the rest require an assembly line. Yeah, I forgot to set this robot arm here. These are not hard. We've looked at them. We've kind of funneled them. Like when you go to the store and you're like, I really want a new TV, but can I really afford it? And you keep going to the same store, look at the same TVs until like 3 years later. You know what? I'm getting this TV, and then you make a bad decision. Anyways, that's kind of what this was. Except that it wasn't really a bad decision because manganese and phosphide or phosphorus we have way more than enough. So blast furnace, they get mixed, no big deal, and run these into 4x wires. We use the manganese phosphide wires for a few other things. I don't remember what though. So I'll reuse this. And the reason we want this is because we can actually make the next tier of chests and tanks now. This one will do 16,000 buckets of liquid. And it doesn't look like it matters about the acidity and all that. And this will hold 16 million items. Does that matter? No, it doesn't. Especially like here, it doesn't matter. We could have just used a regular chest for this. In fact, I've started moving these guys. No, these guys were always chests. It's these guys over here. Is that oh, come on. I realized that it was like these ones here. They have 10,000 nichrome in them. I'm not going to say I'm never going to use that much, but I don't think I'm going to use that much at once. It'll be in a processing facility if I do. Probably one that backstuffs, because it won't be infinite. But, for example, if we... like this one, tungsten carbide. I could fill this up, and then it would backstuff here and backstuff over there. And, in fact, maybe it's worth it to just help it along its way a little bit. Yeah. And this gives me more control because I can do that. We don't get the 8 million items, but what we do get is 5,000, which, if I'm using 10,000 items in one go, maybe there's a different need for how we're doing things. And I could always change it then. If we're doing 10,000, if I use 10,000 items at once and it's a 30-second process, that's never going to get replaced anyways. So I need to rethink how we're doing things. So part of me is thinking like here, these ones make sense because thorium is, I actually want the neodymium, and thorium is just a byproduct. So we'll just stockpile that. There's no reason to throw it away. It's a cheap chest. Anyways, sorry. That's all. That's all I'm thinking. So I don't think I'm going to make the chests on camera, but I'm out of tanks, and so I will probably. I have been sorting this, remembering to. I'll probably make those super tank 3s off camera, and then we'll just start using them next time. Right. Okay. So today, I am also sorry. This is just as a side. You need so many mixers. So let's see if I can get this without dying. I actually died last time. Of course, I was trying to move probably 15 stacks at once. So we've got the iridium. This is not automated, but we've got it going. We got a bunch of shellite, and then I've got these Kovar ingots, and I'm probably going to move. We've got this really obnoxious stack of mixers here. They aren't running. They just get in the way, and it's really hard to remember what's where. And I don't need to access the dust for the most part. If I need to mix something, I need to automate the mixing of it. So I will probably set up a bunch of mixers downstairs on that. And I am not going to make the mistake of doing like LV lines and stuff. But I will probably not do more than HV unless we need it. Because once we get these new solar panels, HV is trivial. It's almost trivial now, but it will be. Okay, all that aside, today we're doing vanadium gallium. We need vanadium gallium for a couple of things. The biggest one is... right, we're making this circuit assembler. And to make the circuit assembler, we need the IV emitter. Is this really what we needed? No, we're not doing vanadium yet. That's in a couple episodes, because I really want this circuit assembler so that I can bump up. We don't have a free EV circuit assembler, and I really kind of figure it's worth it to fix that. Oh, did I mention? Oh, I should have mentioned this. I should have led with this. This is very exciting too. Or actually, we're gonna make 2 circuit assemblers if we can. I've got this all set up and going. We have microchip processors being processed. I got this all set up as EV. And then I realized at the last second that was a lot of wasted crafting because I've got a ton of HV stuff. That's what was there ahead of time. So for the MV processors, we're going to do exactly the same thing. I'll point this out too. We'll do the exact same thing, but I'm actually going to put an extra converter in here. I'll put an IV converter, just a 1 amp that points right into only this one. I hope it won't crash or anything, but the IV converter will just go right here with the flux point into the IV converter, which will go against this wall, and it'll point at the IV circuit assembler, and then we'll just be powering one thing off of IV instead of all of this off of IV. EV I can make work in my mind because it's not all running at the same time, and in fact, all of this is backstuffed. All of this is backstuffed as well. It's just waiting for the circuit assembler. And then we will have both of these in their ultimate form, save for if we decide that we're going to do multi-blocks. Not because we need to, just because that seems fun. Like, if I have... So this... Can we do all of that as a multi-block and still, like, puzzle piece it together into something that's slightly reasonable in size? That's what I'm thinking. Anyways, so we've got NAND chips and we've got LV chips in their ultimate form. They take almost no resources, if you remember. This is tin bolts. Who cares? It takes, I think, 2 tin bolts. So that's a quarter of an ingot for... What is that? A quarter of an ingot for 6. So there's a 1/12 of an ingot per tin. Same thing with wire. We get 4, so that's half an ingot. So it's a 1/12 of an ingot. No. This is a 1/4 of an ingot. So it's a 24th of an ingot of tin. That's less than a nugget. That's like like 2/3. No, I don't even know. It's less than half of a nugget. Whereas this one is less than a nugget per copper. The plastic printed circuit boards we're automating. They're kind of a bit of pain, but we had to use them anyways. And then the system on the chip is new, which I was having fun doing that in the back end. I was all cackling to myself because if I was going to go into electrical engineering, that's actually where I'd specialize in, is not high performance computing, but how much, could we just take a block of wood and like use a soldering iron and solder a circuit in there? Is that something we do Dr. Stone style? That is definitely the area that I dabble, not even professionally, not even amateur, just a little dabbling. Okay, so that's enough rambling. We need to make these 4 guys. I did make the casting mold because that was boring and I just wanted to have it on hand. And the reason why that's important is I did promise that I was going to make the IV power energy converter. Making the 64 amp was just waiting a little longer for more shellite, and I figured, yeah, why not? That's funsies. The shellite wires themselves accept 64 amps, so there's never a problem here. And we had the assembler from before. We made the forming press together, and the forming press is going to get the star casting mold. And what's interesting is you can't duplicate the star casting mold. You have to make each one by hand. It's the only mold I found that you can't just automatically make. Anyhow, so we need to make a bunch of these guys. So let's start collecting ingredients. It's not the energized. In fact, I should probably do this. Let's make the ones that we're actually going to use. Liquid Blizz and Ice Charge. Right? Yeah. There are at least 3 tiers that I saw of this recipe: Lightning Charge and Lightning Blizz, and Earth. No, see, they're not all in the same order. There we go. So we'll get rid of these, and these are the ones we're going to do. All right, so let's just get to that. We need Liquid Blizz. How much should we make? We get a 30% chance. Ew. And it's an EV recipe. I have an autoclave we can use. That's not a problem. Oh, I never automated those carbon fibers. That's fine. That'll go off camera because we've done it manually. Automating it's not interesting, but that's fine. So Liquid Blaze. How much of that do you suppose we need? If we need 720, we get what? Oh my goodness, that's 5 per. So that'd be 5 stacks to get a third of a stack of fire diffused shards. How many of these do we need to start with? Let's just go with that. Let's go with a stack of this. So we'll do 5 stacks of Liquid Blaze and 4 stacks of fire charges. That's not going to turn out nicely, but it'll be okay, I think. We have, I think, over here. If not, it's on the one, all one. This is one of the very first. This was when I got to about here in the processing line and went, oh, I'm running out of room. So I just used the backside. And can we get Liquid Blaze from anything else? No. Ah, yes. Extractors on this gives us 576. That's still not enough. That's only 4. So it's exactly the same. There's no reason to change it. We'll just run this through the extractor. We need to get the multi-block extractor. It's not with the machine. It's with a whole other machine. If I come in here and I do extractor, it is large extraction machine, and it is doable soon. We need to make a canner and an extractor, and then we need to be able to make the watertight casings. Oof, that's a lot. Okay, so extractor, this is easy. We just put it in there. We just put it in there. I moved these all around, so this might not be pulling anymore. I mean, you just have one spot, so we'll use a... Okay, good. We're making Liquid Blaze, and we can give it... Uh-oh. What is Liquid Blaze's temperature? 4,000 K. That's not going to fly. Oh. Oh. What drum goes up to 4,000K? Tungsten steel does not. Enriched naquita. Huh. Okay. Huh. These guys have a limit. These guys also have a limit. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's our friend here then. He has no limit. The fluid cell from thermal. Which makes sense because this is all thermal stuff. Okay. We need to make some fire charges, which is coal dust, gunpowder, and blaze powder. We will do... I'll do 2 stacks of each. Yeah. So we need coal dust, which we can get that by refining coal gas, which I think we get from... Where would that be? It's actually down here. Over where we're doing coal, which is back here. It's not carbon. Coal dust. So 2 stacks of that. 2 stacks of carbon. And 2 stacks of blaze powder. Okay. 2 stacks of blaze powder. And I guess I should have grabbed that while I was over there. But that's fine. I could just run through here. I've been cutting these lines short just because it makes it a little easier to get across here. And that way, ideally, I don't want to move this. I've been basically using carry-on to pick this. Like, I'd pick this up and move it over. This is now just electrolyzing water because I don't need the hydrogen, but I was running out of oxygen. So this is not a lot, but it's obviously enough that it works. Yep. Okay, and then gunpowder we have. So then we got to figure out what machine it uses, and I totally don't remember. I made gunpowder earlier for maybe it was the implosion compressor or something. I don't remember. But we needed gunpowder for something. What was that? Was it fun? Was it interesting? What is this? Boom shroom spores. Well, we'll have to make that. PNT. Spreads phytogrow in a large area, not throwable. That's cool. Oh, right. It was for one of these speed upgrades. Yeah. Which we ended up not really needing. Okay. So, fire charges go in. Oh, just a mixer. Okay. And the mixer is done. I mixed up so much Kovar. It's like so much. It doesn't require a thing. Oh, and look at how fast it goes. Okay, well, this is going to go faster than I thought it was. Done. Okay, cool. In fact, we'll just put them all in and see how much comes out. Okay, so we got the fire charge quest. This should be done. Yes. Yep, okay. And then in the autoclave. Bro, really? 4 millibuckets left. Input hatch goes here. I guess I could have taken that out first. I think if I put this down, it'll automatically fill. Yes. Good. Why? I shouldn't have had exactly 32, should I have? Did it void the extra? That makes me nervous. Let's see what happens. Alright, and this is... Oh, no. That's a 24-second recipe, so this might be better off being automated. Yep. Okay, I'm just gonna put all of this in there. And we'll take back whatever's left. Okay, next on our list is these guys. And I could automate all this. This is also a 30% chance. And it's all EV, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. Liquid Blizz and Ice Charge. Liquid Blizz we get from Blizz Powder, which we get from Blizz Cubes. No, we don't want the Blizz Cubes. We want to make the Blizz Powder. Right. And the same thing, we get the Ice Charges with Blizz Powder. So let's make like, gosh, 10 stacks of these Blizz Powder. If I can use my words. And this is why we need fluorine. Okay. Oh, we need an IV chem. Oh, we got an IV chemical reactor. We do. Ha! Nice. Okay. We could get an LUV here soon, but so be it. Yeah, let's go set that up. Sure. Actually, you know what? I know exactly how we're going to do this. I think I know exactly how we're going to do this. Oh, no, I need to finish. Okay. I need to go make some more blue steel casings. So I'm going to... Well, how much blue steel do we have? We might not have any. That's the wrong direction. This is still running fine. It's not optimal, but it's close. It's running like 90% of the time. And I'm not willing to fiddle with it more to get it to go better. We'll come back and just redesign the whole thing when we get to that point. Okay, blue steel. We don't have enough. Here. Do I have any blue steel over here? This is our random ores chest. I do not. Salt can go. I try to make sure I get that done every time I think about it. I'm glad it doesn't have a thing. Anyways, it's fine. We'll just do this many and hope for the best. Right, so 48 of these go into... I like to do them in groups of 4 stacks. It makes it easier to keep track of. Yeah, this will be fine. We'll just do this in here. Assembler on a 4. You have liquid aluminum because I made some. I used up the last of our nichrome wires. I got just halfway thought through ideas. Like I'm not paying enough attention, and I just have this thought of, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I did blank? And so, you know, I'll grab a bunch of nichrome. It's no big deal because I've got, you know, thousands, tens of thousands of nichrome. And I toss it in, and then I come back later and I was like, what was I planning on doing with it? And the secret is, I don't think I was planning on doing anything. I think it was just there. I have been thinking about making an elite. I got to start writing elite polarizer here. But we need the vanadium gallium rods. That's why that was on my mind, because that was the last thing I searched before I started this. That being said, there is a large electromagnet, which does electromagnetic separation and polarizers. And that is... We are like 2 shakes away from osmium wire. We need an electromagnetic separator, which needs a vanadium gallium rod anyways. Graphene wire we've got automated as part of the motors. IV conveyor belts, we're a step and a half away from automating. And yeah, okay, blue steel casings. That's all I need to make this work, I hope. So it should be right over here. And if I come in and I think I need to do the maintenance. Nope. Which one of these has best inside? Let's make sure. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, it did not form. Because it's got 2 input butts but no output buses. That was very clever. And they're coming out that side. Still didn't form. Oh! Because I never upgraded those. Okay, we can fix that. So basically what we're doing here is we've been using topaz for our fluorine. But topaz gives us like a 7-to-1 ratio, and we're out of topaz. In fact, because I've got that sand machine downstairs, the seawater machine, and it's so efficient, we're out of sand. So that's not ideal. We can make more sand. We just need it's the Civ Cobble Works. Yeah, this one. And I don't quite follow why it calls it a module. Anyhow, that's just tungsten steel, more tungsten wheel. Crushing wheels is ultimate, which I've got a ton of. And tungsten carbide, secure maceration housing, which is titanium. Oh, why you gotta do that? It's probably this one. No, it's not. Okay. What are we looking at then? Vacuum freezer, 0 and 100 is no. Why not? Macerator, packer, part grinder. Do we need to, yeah, here we go. So, yeah, alloy blast smelter. So many things on the list that we can't get to quite yet. Right, so I'm going to come down here and hit these guys. And then as long as I'm here, I may as well get this, right? Oh, I had plenty of spare. All right, and then I kept it. Good. Whew. I keep putting this away thinking, oh, I don't need HV anymore. And then I forget that, you know, all my, you know, set and forget type ones are this. It's like light bulbs in the house. I still get certain people coming over. Certain family members are will consistently come and tell me, no, you can't do that. It's wasting electricity. And I'm like, I can leave a light on now. The electricity it uses is literally 1% of what it was 50 years ago. So I think it'll be okay. And they don't always accept that. But, you know, it's fine. Okay, crushed bastosite goes in there. Okay. That's not what I was hoping. Stone dust is always at the bottom, and I was doing it this way, right? No, I was doing it the opposite way. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. I know that. But at the same token, the more standardized I can make it, the better. And we want the bastosite. We don't care about this. It's a low priority, so it's almost certainly not going to go over. Same thing with the stone dust. So we'll do... I have ender... There we go. I'm just going to do the one for now, and if I come back... I have a lot of these where they're, you know, I'm stockpiling stuff. I locked all those, good. So then we can just do, and we're good. And you're locked, right? I know, you got to check several times or you run into problems. Okay, so we got crushed bastosite, and the question is, what do we do with that? Let me think about it for a second. The answer is we kick the can down the road. That was not the answer you were expecting, I hope. And I'll show you why we can afford to do that. 1, 2, 3, and you're not running. Why aren't you running? Use of raw pitch blend. Does this not go in the ore grinding? Same reason. It's an input bus, not an output bus. Okay, now we're going. Okay, so ground pitch blend, go. I'm sure it gives us uranium or something. Thorium. And if you aren't aware, thorium is also radioactive, and it was a contender. Some argue, I'm not saying it's true, but some argue that thorium is a better source for nuclear power. But and this is not like crazy conspiracy theory. I don't think. If you know, I would love to hear that I am wrong. I love finding out that I'm wrong because then I get to learn more stuff. But as I recall, the actual documentation from like Manhattan Project and stuff said that they wanted to use uranium because the odds of being able to enrich it were much better for making nuclear weapons. So whether or not thorium is better for nuclear power purposes is kind of questionable, because if you're anti-nuclear weapons, then you think that the thorium, you kind of haloize it, and that's not... doesn't mean you're wrong, but it doesn't mean that you're necessarily right. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I actually have... Where would it be? Oh, that's why I can't find it. It's over here. Bastnasite is a byproduct of, I've been looking at this and thinking, wouldn't it be nice if we used that? Bastnasite. It's a side product of the topaz we've been doing. So we have enough of this to last us a little while before I have to decide, am I going to set up another, I could do this whole area in more of these, but I don't know. Those are boring me right now, and I'd like to catch back up on our thorium production. Speaking of which, and I know I'm all over the place here, the thorium production is no, not thorium, tungsten. Sorry, tungsten steel. Tungsten is going on over here because we need EV mixers for tungsten steel and stuff. I think we did. So that's copper chloride. So the tungstate chunks come in, tungstate dust comes in here. It outputs lithium chloride and it outputs tungstic acid. Why is tungstic acid? Oh. Because I turned this off. That would be a very good reason why we were backed up. I keep doing that and not thinking it through. Anyhow, in that case, that's still set to output. Why are you? Because you're not set to... Whoops. And we get oxygen and hydrogen, and I should set that oxygen to go somewhere, but whatever. This is an electrolyzer. I could set this to be one of the big machines. There's lots of stuff we could be doing. Okay, so that's why I didn't have any tungsten wire. Cool. Anyhow, before I had this outputting to the bottom and then splitting into these two, so I'd get equal amounts of... this one's tungsten carbide, which we need for gears and some plates. And this one is tungsten steel, which is the main, like it's what the machine hulls are made out of. It's what the pistons and the motors are made out of. But we also need the wires. So I realized as long as this is already set to round robin, and I've got it set to only distribute one, so it it'll distribute it to here, here, and here. I hope. I haven't actually checked, but it seems like it's at least doing something, right? Yeah. So this is making some tungsten dust. This is making that. Good. We're on our way. Okay. That's embarrassing. Tungstic acid. I think we get... I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm glad I went to show you guys so that I could find that mistake as well. Okay, so we have bastnasite, and we need an electrolyzer for it. I have some electrolyzers. I have no electrolyzers. Is that true? It's true. Okay. Advanced Okay, do we make an EV electrolyzer for this? I think the answer is no, because I'm still sticking with HV as our base tool. Oh, this is easy. Okay. I have electrum wire in here. And gold cable. Actually, I have one in there, don't I? No, I used them all. Okay. All the rest of this we can get downstairs. So this is here. No, that's why it didn't work upstairs. Is this just 1x? It is. Okay. Right here, and then and this is the part where I start going. I don't mind doing it when it's not being recorded. It's when I'm recording and I'm like, okay, look at me go pick stuff up now. But I feel like, maybe not. These microprocessors are still the old line. That's why it's not up to 1024, because we're going to use up all the old ones. Same with right here. We've only got 90, so we'll just use up all those before we continue. The last thing we need is the gold cable and the bulb. This is all very confusing. When I finish building out these walls, it should feel, again, very backrooms. I don't know, maybe that's not like the ideal, but that's what I'm kind of theming these multi-part makers around. Okay, so we do have an advanced electrolyzer. That's no big deal. That's Durasteel, I think. So let's go ahead and find some place to put this. I did tear down the old LV motor makers, or processor makers, and right here is fine. So you get that, and I think that's bastnasite. Good. So bastnasite comes in. I guess I didn't need to do it that way. Why aren't you running? Oh, no. No, MD. Have power. Oh, I know. I should just use that. And we're going to go through all this bastnasite pretty quickly. So it's only going to be a short-term increase. There we go. It's because it needed 7 or so. Okay. So the other flip side is we get, see, now what do we do? I guess, how are we going to output this? We can do pipe and 2 chests. No, let's not connect that one yet. And it doesn't matter. Cerium and carbon. I don't need either of those. No, I do need cerium later. But I don't really need the carbon. I just don't want to deal with setting up the voiding setup. And we'll just output this this way. Okay, and then fluorine. Okay, how about we do this? Maybe don't need the large. I don't need the large ones, but we'll do the large ones anyways. And connect that. I have no tanks. Uh-oh. Okay, shoot. Forgot that we were gonna need tanks. Let's do this then. I can come over here and I can grab some stainless steel. Is that worth doing? I think so. Yeah, let's do it. Uh-oh. Why don't I hear you running? Well, oh, I had extra. Okay, cool. That solves that then. All right, so we've got the stainless steel drums, and we use these to make the hermetic casing. Oh, hold on. Super tank 3. This doesn't take tanks in the middle. It takes this. Okay, well, we need 8 stacks of... Ooh, that's going to be a lot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause it while I do that then, because that's a lot. But we will take a stack of this and a stack of HV pumps. We've got those. That's why we have it like this. These should all kick on. No. Oh, why not? Titanium. I need my pumps. Motors, rings. What are you missing? Motors. Why aren't you getting motors? Because it's not picking them up from behind. Not picking them up from behind for some reason. Okay, cool. That's all it was. And you'll notice that this one's not enclosed. This one's not enclosed because it's working properly, and I want to have a blueprint. This one's not enclosed because I need to have it. Oh, sorry, because this one isn't here. I just need to make an EV assembler, which I guess I have. I could do that. No, HV assembler. Something. What do these require? No, not use recipe. HV. Okay, well, I could do that. I should probably just set that up. I'll do it exactly the same as this. I got thrown off because the MV fluid regular. Oh. Oh no. These are EV. That's not what I need. Oh yeah, is it? Wait, hold on. HV pumps. Sorry. Okay, now I've got those. That's what I need for this, and I need to get 10 stacks of stainless steel plate. That's fine. And I need HV motors then. Motors? No, chips. And we're going to go through those like clockwork. Okay, and then honestly, what I do is I run back here and just snag it from here. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'll come back in just a moment. Okay, so here's another good example of what I need. We need those PTFE casings. And I obviously don't have anywhere near enough. I think we can get by with a steel drum of it, because I'm running low on the animation stuff. So PTFE is made in here. This isn't running. Why not? I don't know. It's got oxygen. It doesn't have tetrafluoroethylene. Okay, well, there's no tetrafluoroethylene in there. Why isn't there any tetrafluoroethylene in there? Hydrochloric acid is fine. It's even probably going to, it's set to void. We've got chlorine. We've got methane. What was this supposed to be? 779. What is that? So that's the issue there. What was that? It's in this one. I think 24. Yeah. Chlorine, methane, hydrofluoric acid. Oh, we actually don't have any hydrofluoric acid. That's why we're doing what we're doing here. Okay, cool. So yeah, I just need to make these pipes. I just wanted to show that's part of why we're doing the point-to-point with the routers instead. Okay, we're like 16 seconds away from having all of the PTFE we need, so let me go ahead and just dump those in there. And I've been needing this enough that I'm going to go ahead and... Wait a second. What did I mess up? I have no idea. Oh, I just did it faster in 15 seconds. Ha! That's all that was. Okay, so this is obviously super fast, and I like watching it, so I thought you might like watching it. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We get the hermetic casings. We've got all of that, and bam, we have super tank 3s. Nice. Nice. Okay. Do we need the super tank 3s? Probably not. But, you know, I like them. I want to keep them. Not this one, it's over here. Right? Yeah. Okay. So we'll put one here, and let's go ahead and set this to oxygen. And oxygen, we're getting all over the place, so I really don't care about whether or not we void it. We'll connect it. We'll set this. Oh no, we can't do this. This is why I don't like doing it like this. Well, no, it'll be okay, because it'll just pump it out and then pump it out. Yeah, it's fine. And if it backs up on fluorine, then it's backed up on fluorine. That's fine. Normally I wouldn't do it like this, but this is kind of a real temporary setup, right? See, so the fluorine went out instead, and the fluorine is bouncing around. So if we do that, then we're good. Okay, so if I do this, well, that's fine. That's fine. Right, so we'll go ahead and lock that. You're still running. It's a 5-second recipe. Not ideal, but not horrible either. Right, so with that fluorine, we're going to make ice charges, right? No, blizz powder. And the blizz powder is cobalt and fluorine, so... Oh, that's a lot of blizz powder. I don't need anywhere near that much, but we're going to make it anyways. So let's get a stack of that and a steel tank full of fluorine. I think that'll work. So we need the cobalt. which is right around back here. Nope, that's blue alloy. Where would I have put it? Gallium, blah, 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 blah. I'm smelting it, aren't I? Oh, well, there we go. Okay. So this will get us 16 stacks of blizz charges, which is not because I think we're going to need it, but because I don't know how many we're going to need. And let's just go ahead and make it, as long as we're making it. So if I come up here, do we have this yet? Ah, wrong side again. I apologize. No, we don't. But what we do know, though, is that it uses 6 Basticite, and out of that 6, it gives us 1. So it's a 6-to-1 ratio. Is it 6-to-1? Hold on. I thought it was better than that. Nope, 6-to-1, which is still better than the topaz dust, which was... Oh, no, it's exactly the same as topaz dust. But this is kind of a waste product, so it's okay. Okay. So how is the autoclave doing over here? We should be getting those fire charges, right? Let's see if we can grab this. It's fine. We got 3, or sorry, 12. This... We should have gotten more... What happened here? I don't know how to get this over there. Okay, that's not ideal. How do we transport liquid blaze? It's over on the other side. Okay, I'm reevaluating how long this is going to take. And what I think we're going to find is if I put this in here and I give it... It has no augments. That's one thing. I used to have augments in there, didn't I? It's okay. I have augments? Oh, the wood chests over here, or the wood crates got full, so they're now distributed. I don't remember. Do we need... Here. I said no. That's a redstone flux cell. We played with that a little bit, and it wasn't useful enough for what we needed. What? Oh, no, it's upgrade. Yeah, these are the ones we want. Where would I have put them? I feel like there's another chest somewhere that's got a bunch of stuff in it. Which, you know, kind of makes sense. Because I know I made some of these. Did I put them over here for some reason? No. Where do you suppose? All right, let me pause. I'm going to go see if I can track this down because that's the second thing that I thought I had that I'm missing. Okay, I think I've got everything I need, but this is taking an extraordinarily long time. I don't know why this isn't going in here. Right? Gases, cryogenics, acids, temperature limit 2428. Oh, 3500. Well, that explains that. This is 4608. This is now 4608. Okay, so if I go to the fluid solidifier, and we're just going to go ahead and do that because that's easier. And then good. And then we'll grab, I have this Enderium that I don't need, so that's fine. We'll just toss it in here. And that'll be enough for one more EV energy converter. And then I need to grab some glass, which is down here. I only need a half stack, I believe. And I couldn't find the thing. It's just nowhere. Oh, that's so slow. 8 seconds. It's supposed to be like 1 tick. Sub-tick parallels. You know how it goes. Okay, and then if I put this in here... No! It will work. Why not? Because I bet you it needs an EV fluid solidifier. I don't think I have one of those. Oh, man. Assembler, forming press, those are not the things we have. Okay, so I guess the question is, what do I want to do? And I think the answer is we make an elite fluid solidifier. Can we do that easily? No, it takes pumps. And I don't even have EV pumps. Arg. Okay, this episode has gone on long enough. I'm going to make this just a part 1. I will be back later. I will have figured out what's going on here. I guess we can go ahead and do this for now. I'd like to know what the... Oh, now I've got Resident Ender in there. Which is just fine. I'd like to know what the idealized solution is for moving this stuff around. Am I supposed to be waiting on this until we get an Aqueduct? I don't know. Right. So, you come out of there and you go in one of these. Whatever. It'll go in here. It's fine. No, it was up in here. Yeah. Okay. Frustrated. Very frustrated. I can't put this in here, right? Yeah. I don't think I have anything else. Can I do it in a bucket? Do I have to bucket it out? No, I can't because... No, I'm not going to do that because I have partials. So if you have a solution, let me know. Otherwise, I think it's just, codge together a solution. Yeah, so I've had fun today. We didn't get anywhere near as far as I wanted to. We got 12 fire infused shards. I guess I can take these out and put them over in here. No, the forming press. And this is guaranteed to work, right? Yeah. And then the Impure Nether Star, we just have to make some TNT, and that'll be fine. And once we get that, we'll have quantum stars, and with the quantum stars, we can make the IV tier. We are making the elite circuit assembler, right? IV, quantum star. Yeah, because the EV one is, and that's just radon. We got lots of radon. So I'm trying to make as many of these as we can. I have been slowly double checking on how these guys are working. So for example, this got swapped over. So right now this is not working because on the other end, it is almost certainly, right, like this one's working. And it's got 256. That's not working. Why isn't it working? Because nitrogen dioxide is full. Okay. And this is one of those, what do I even do with this? I don't want to void it because I don't know if we need it later. But at the same token, I don't care. So let's go ahead and do that for now. Yeah, and now it's burning. And then this will empty out. And then it goes over. And then because it takes so long for it to fill back up, It looks like it's not running, but it is. So anyhow, like I said, I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Until next time, I'll catch you on the flippy flop.